Hello everybody and welcome back to a new guide video on the Joff Gaming channel. This is going to be the ultimate starting guide for the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Starting off from the very beginning, it is important to know which race and which class you want to play in order to maximize your stats accordingly.
Very good. The letter that preceded you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And what would that be? Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct. Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get...
Upon grabbing your release identification papers, you're going to walk over here to the limeware platter along the wall. You're going to pick it up and go into your inventory immediately and drop it and wait for the guard. Once the guard talks to you, you will be able to pick it up again free of charge and they will not arrest you. Next, you're going to go through this door and shut it back. Now you're free to loot anything that you want within these two rooms. Sometimes these sacks down here have quality ingredients like drug wax that can be sold at a very high value. And generally these baskets have nothing but a couple goblets. Heading in this room, you can see that there's a lot more to choose from plates, candles, some goblets, some booze, lots of silverware. And you're going to want to make sure you take the lockpick. Using the lockpick, you can unlock this small chest and grab a small bit of gold. Now feel free to take whatever you want, including the iron dagger, and you'll want to grab the flint, as it can be sold for a high value. Upon exiting, there's going to be a barrel. You want to search the barrel and get the engraved ring of healing, that is. That will come into play later on. Heading in to the next office, you're going to want to go around him. Now this works for PC especially, because you can go into your inventory and you're going to grab this key and simply place it back on the shelf and talk to him. He's going to say that once you're released, if you do it again, then you will be arrested. But you can still pick it back up and it will be very useful here in a second. Speak to him to get your duties and proceed to exit. You're going to go straight across to the Excise warehouse. In here you will find lots of weapons and armor that you can use early on. Heading upstairs, there are also more valuables up here, including some good armor pieces. And of course, lots of moon sugar and skooma that you can take, which you will not be able to sell until later on in the guide, but still take it as it is very valuable. Upon exiting, you're going to want to talk to a wood elf named Fargoth. He's going to ask about a ring. Ask him about the ring and give him the ring, and it's going to give us better deals up in Arille's Tradehouse. Upon entering, talk to Arille, and you can sell all of your goods that you have looted, as well as buy spells if you'd like. We'll head upstairs and talk to Hriscar Flatfoot. Here he's going to want you to recover some gold, and he's going to want you to find Fargoth's hiding place. Say you accept the quest, and we'll see him in a bit, or not. Now upon exiting, we're going to make a right, go across the bridge, and find some high value targets. No, we're not killing anybody. We're finding some good loot. Now it's not going to be this first tree right here, but you're going to want to back up and continue around this first little swamp area. It'll be the next one right behind the one we just looked at. You're going to want to go to the right, up the mountain, as high as you can get to be able to get behind and get into the tree stump that's down there. Once you've landed onto these rocks, jump up to the tree stump to find a nice firebite dagger and some gold. Heading out of this bog, we're going to head in this direction to a very unique encounter, which could be very valuable for us. We see the book, we look up, and Arille is falling to his death. Upon searching his body, we can find a few valuables, including 3 scrolls of Incarian flight. Take what you wish, and immediately make a straight left and go straight in this direction. Here we'll be coming to a small spot of land with the dead tax collector. Upon searching his body, you'll find a bit of gold, 200 that is, and tax records. Now if you go into your journal, you can either return to the Census and Excise office to discover the mystery of what happened to the tax collector, or you can keep the gold to yourself. Once we're back in the city, we're going to go right past the Silt Strider, and there is a bandit cave called Adamasartus. Enter here as you wish, as you will find lots of more valuables, including some more moon sugar and skooma that you can sell later on. Now back in the middle of town, we're going to go to the Lighthouse. Once we get to the Lighthouse, there are going to be a couple hollowed out tree stumps. One directly in front of the door that's going to have some gold in a silver cup. Grab those and we'll go back up the stairs if you can't make that jump, which I could not. And we're going to go straight across to the rocks. Jump along the rocks if you can. If not, you'll see me fall and I'll have to walk around. But right there's our target. Walking around and getting on the rocks, you're able to jump onto the tree stump and you will find an iron shard axe that is very useful early on for a low level character with axe. Also, Dragotails. The coat of flowers are 23 gold apiece. Continuing into the lighthouse, once we get back to the door, there will be a couple more valuables. Once we enter, you can technically kill the lady in here and take everything as your own, or you can just head upstairs to our next part. Under the bench is a book called The Wraith's Wedding Dowry, and it is an unarmored skill book, and you can take it and sell it later. Once we get to the top, we're going to wait till dusk. Well, about midnight, I'd say. You know it is time when you see a torch and a wood elf crouching around. Perfect timing. We're going to watch as he crouches He's going to crouch around for a while and then head into the little bog over there. He's going to place stuff in the hollow tree stump, wait for him to do so, and we'll meet you over there. As you see him leave the tree stump, we can either enter back in the lighthouse and walk down, or you can just jump down on this tree and try not to die. As we approach it, we'll search the tree stump, that is, and it is not considered stealing, so take as you wish. Here is Fargoth's hiding place, and now you can either return to Hriscar Flatfoot and Arille's Tradehouse, or you can keep the gold for yourself. That is completely up to you. Now we'll cross back the bridge and wait till morning. Now that it is daylight, we're going to head outside city limits and be prepared for a fight. Now this tip is only if you have the Tribunal expansion installed. But once you are awakened, there will be a chance of a Dark Brotherhood assassin to attack you. You're going to want to take him down and search his body. And at level 1, he can be very difficult, so be ready. Once he is taken down, loot his armor, which is a very good set of light armor for early on in the game. Once you are prepared, we are going to be taking the coast north. Our first area of interest is going to be right up here on the right. I will have an arrow pointed to it because I passed it up. The location will be known as Samaris Ancestral Tomb. Once we enter, there's going to be a few undead that we'll have to dispose of. Which I happened to walk by an ancestral ghost and miss it. And there will be a skeleton in here guarding the main chamber. Once we kill the skeleton, we're going to want to search the urn. Once you search the urn, there's going to be the Mentor's Ring, which fortifies intelligence and willpower 10 points for a constant effect, as well as the key, which can be used to unlock a couple chests that are in this location. Now, once we exit, we're going to make a right and continue following the coast upwards. We're going to come to a group of trees right up here. And I will show you on the map exactly where it is at. Right over here is town, the bottom right. We follow the coast up, and right here is the tree. You climb behind the tree, up these rocks, into this hollow tree stump to find a cloth sack containing 100 gold. Take that and continue up the stream. Up here is going to be an abandoned shipwreck. Inside the main cabin, you can enter to find that there's nothing left. I'll show you here on the map where it is located exactly. There was the cloth sack, and here is Samira's ancestral tomb. You can see the cabin is completely empty besides a couple bottles. But once we head below the deck, that is where we'll find some treasure. We'll continue through the water. You can search the barrels. There's usually nothing in them. Some moon sugar, which is always nice. And head to the lower level. Be careful because we will be underwater. Search the crate to find some ash statues, which you can take if you'd like. They make good decorations. And then we'll search this small chest to uncover 3 diamonds, which are very valuable. Now we will be heading out of the shipwreck and heading north along the Foyoda River up to Balmora, and I will see you there. Now that we are at Balmora, we're going to head into town and go to Revere Trader. Once we get in here, this is where you can sell all of your moon sugar. And he also sells some demon weapons that can summon bound weapons, which are very powerful early on. Once we exit Revere's, we're going to make a right and go across the river. We're going to be heading into the corner where this guard tower is located over here. Once we enter the guard tower, we're going to be going upstairs. Now this part can be kind of tricky as there's a guard up here. You're going to want to get him to talk to you.
Speak, traveler.
And then back into this corner to where he's constantly looking in the corner. It may be difficult, but if you get right next to him, quick save and then reload, it should work to get him to talk to you. Here we are quick saving and reloading, and he should talk to us immediately. Just stay in this corner and wait for him to finish his dialogue. Move around a little bit, and now you can go past him. Once here, we're going to go in sneak mode, up on the bed kind of if you can. Make sure you're in sneak mode, quick save it before you grab this weapon. And it is the Sword of White Woe. This is an ebony longsword that has a very good ability. Now, once we have obtained the Sword of White Woe, we're going to be going back across the river. Once we make it up here into the plaza, we're going to go right to find the apothecary, Nakaria Whitehaven. If you're good at sneak, you can get directly in this corner, go into sneak mode, and she won't be able to see you, and you can steal some diamonds. But that is not what we're here for. Here, she sells some very good potions early on, and late game, known as Potion of Mark and Potion of Recall. Buy them, go back into her inventory, and she has them restocked. And you can resell them to her, and it will duplicate the amount. So if you buy one, sell her one, when you go to buy them again, she will have 2 for sale instead of 1. Now, that is almost the end of the guide, but there's one last tip. All of these crates around Balmora can be searched for valuables, and they will not be considered stealing. You find weapons, enchanted robes, arrows, anything you can imagine, there is a chance. And there are over 30 crates in Balmora that you can search, just to give you an extra edge on this ultimate start guide. Once you have finished searching all the crates, that is the end of the start guide, and you are now prepared to take on Morrowind.